Hi guys, Dale from Reptile Systems. Just wanted to give you a couple minute talk on the Reptile Systems Eco T5 unit. This is a complete lighting fixture with everything included for reptiles. We have zone 1 in the blue, zone 2 in the green and zone 3 in the orange. The zone 1 is available in a 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot and 4 foot length. And then the zone 2 and 3 is available in 2 foot, 3 foot and 4 foot, which is 24 watt, 39 watt and 54 watt. A couple of things, we don't use the percentage scale, so we use Ferguson zones. The idea behind that is you can measure the UVI, which is what the Ferguson zone is related to. You can't really measure percentage. So the idea is that Dr. Gary Ferguson labelled all the zones and we classify the products related to those zones. So zone 1, namely kind of things like leopard geckos, corn snakes, that sort of thing. So a couple of features about the Eco T5 unit. It's nice and slim, nice and black, all one colour. So that's the first thing. You can sit this directly on top of the mesh of your enclosure, or you can actually use the fittings involved and you can actually fix this to the top of the inside of the mesh. So this small metal piece here fits over the spine of the unit, like so. And on the inside of that, you would use these small butterfly clips and they would go through the mesh and anchor into position. The idea behind this, which is quite unique, is that the mesh of an Exoterra sort of a Zoom Med style enclosure, that mesh can reduce 30 to 40% of the UVB which is emitted by one of these lamps. So if you want more UV from your product for your animals, because you've got further to go, what you can do is you can put this on the underside of the mesh and that's going to give you more UVI and potentially more light inside your enclosure. The other key feature about the Eco T5 unit, unlike anybody else's out there, is that it has a removable reflector. So this reflector that it comes with as standard will triple the output of your lamp. So once your lamp is inside in there, so that just fits in, give it a quick twist. This reflector here will triple the output of that lamp. However, you may find sometimes that that UVI is too high for your animal, depending on their basking zone. So what we've done is we put a little tab just on the corner just here, which you can easily just peel the reflector back, like so, and then you can move it over onto the other side. And the other side of that will then halve the UVI output. And we also put a little label on there to say low output side of the reflector. So to give you an idea of the UVI levels that we've done, all the information is all on the box. So what we've got here is we've got the zone 2 product. So this is made for things like green anoles and a lot of dart frogs, amphibians. And what you can see there is you got the length. So you got the height of the basking. So if your animal was at 16 inches, for example, and you want a zone 2, you can't use the high side of the reflector if you're if you're below the mesh. The UVI would be too strong. So what you would do is you would turn the reflector over to the outside. So you're on the low reflector, which is this column here, and it says 1.5. 1.5 is perfect for a zone 2, but if you have it in the high reflector, it's 4, which is going to be too high. If you are above the mesh, we put a little calculation down there, you can reduce that level by 30-40%. So if you were to bring that 4 down because you're sitting it on top of the mesh, you'll be at about 2.4. That's just on the high side, so that's why we label it as an orange, which is zone 3, and then you would sort of put it in the low. If your animal is further away, so we've got 20 inches, for example, you can have it there, and you can have it in the high reflector or the low reflector. It's absolutely fine. So we've done all the calculations, so it makes it nice and easy for the consumer and the store. They don't have to kind of work out or buy an expensive UVI meter. All the information is on the box. And that's the same whether it's a zone 2, zone 3. We say, and I guess this is a zone 3, for example, you've got no reflector, low output reflector and high reflector, depending on what the UVI output is. All the information's on the box. And you'll see on this zone 3 that if you're too close at 8 inches, for example, it's not safe. So it's been labeled red because the UVI is just too intense and no animal should be kept at that level. We always recommend 12 inches as a minimum from lamp to animal as a basking. The other couple of key features, obviously you've got your power cord, which has got an inline switch. You also have a daisy chain. Now this daisy chain allows you to link several units together in a row. So you can have one plug going into the wall socket, You have your power cord going into the unit, which goes into the unit on this side where it's open. And then with a small screwdriver, you can just pop this little plate out here. You can put your daisy chain in. This is about 3.5 feet long. And then you can go from this viv, for example, to the next enclosure, The 1 foot unit, which is 8 watt, you can link 10 units together. The 24 watt, which is 2 foot, you can link 6 units together. The 39 and the 54 watt units, you can link 4 units together. We also supply a straight connector as well. So if someone was to upgrade their enclosure and they've got a 2 foot now, but they've upgraded their enclosure to maybe a 6 foot long enclosure, rather than buying another 4 foot unit, they can buy another 2 foot. It's a little bit cheaper, and then you can just put this little snap connector in, and then you can basically just put another 2 foot next to it. So one power will do both units. Obviously inside the box is all the instructions. You get the lamp, the reflector, the daisy chain and the power cord. Now the interesting thing with the daisy chain as well, if you're not linking them together, you can also use this as an extension cord on your power cord. So this will fit onto the power cord, which gives you another 3 foot, 3.5 feet to be able to get from your wall socket to the unit if you need to. Everything's included inside the box. We recommend our lamps for 1 year. After 1 year, the UVI level starts to drop, and we would recommend sort of changing them from there onwards. That's a very brief outline. There's lots more details on the packaging, and there's lots more details on the website. But I think that should kind of cover you for now. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.